What is up? How's everybody doing? Man, it's been a while since I've had been on a live video. But we are back and it's fun. I miss these live videos, but today is the anniversary of D-Day. And I'm seeing a lot of posts, which is really cool. 78th anniversary of D-Day. I've had the honor of having some chats with some guys that jumped during D-Day that were on those landing craft on Utah and Omaha and the other beaches and at our roll call luncheon we have here in Fort Worth, there are some of our national treasures, and it's really cool to get to have conversation with them. And but take a minute today, remember all those guys and gals that were on D-Day, and let me know where you're from. I see we got some people on. But anyway, we yeah, it's been a minute since we've done a live video, but it's been a while. But we're back and catching up on some projects. I've had the opportunity to finish a VA home buying guide that I literally have been working on for, I don't know, a year. But that's about to head to the printer to get proofed, and so we can get that thing to print. Mark Martinez, what's up, man? Good to see you. Well, at least virtual anyway. But so we got the guide coming back. Doing a little traveling. Went to Houston last week. Florida a couple weeks before that. Going to go to New Jersey, San Antonio, Oklahoma City. Going to be in Oklahoma City next week. For those agents who may see this that are in OKC, we're going to be hosting a VA Reno class. So that's going to be cool. Renovation loans out there now, and it's back, and no more excuses. Miss Linda, how are you? Good to see you. But hosting the VA Reno class, and we'll kind of get into that just a little bit here. When we get into this, but I got a phone call from a friend of mine, agent, this morning, and he was asking me a question about something that were in the comments in MLS on this house. And it said that it was conventional and cash only. And those, obviously, I'm very inquisitive and curious about why people put those there. Now, look, if the house is a dilapidated turd, hey, I get it, right? But we always ask why, and that's what we teach people. Why? Why are you only accepting that? And in this particular case, there was one wall in the garage that didn't have any sheetrock on it, and they thought that it might not pass a VA inspection. So, and I get it, but this is where I'm going to encourage people to, in the agent community, as well as the LO community, to educate themselves to get better, right? And this is why we do these things. This is why we host these classes. This is why we travel the country. What's up, Ray, in the great state of Vermont, man? The Vermont Catamounts. How about that? And so, it's always good to ask questions, but when you're listing these houses in MLS, and this is what I'm kind of curious of, is do you ask to see if there's things that might not pass, a VA appraisal? Even if these things don't pass, let's say the appraiser does call them out. Let's say they're legit. As long as they're not hindering the safety of the property, the structural soundness, it's not sanitary, we might be able to ask to get those waived. So that's one aspect to look at. Number two is that people will think that the seller has to pay for the repairs, which is not true. Anybody in the transaction can pay for the repairs. Okay, the veteran can, the loan officer can, the agent can, and so we're trying to, in a sense, remove these roadblocks of home ownership, especially as it relates to the appraisal process. Because there's so much misinformation. And one would think that because of the access to information we have now in Google or all these Facebook groups and all these things, which, sometimes can be dangerous, that we would be better at this to be able to spread this word. And sometimes when I'm thinking that, man, everybody's heard this before. Everybody's heard me say that talk about these minimum property requirements, or my friends even, through the Better Mortgage Advisor groups and things like that, going, man, they've had to have heard it all by now. And then you get questions like this or scenarios thrown at you like this, and you're going, okay, this is why I have to be better. This is why I have to do more. And this is why we're traveling the country, speaking through these things and making sure that people understand this, because the epidemic is not cured yet. And it may never be. I don't know. Until you can remove the human equation from all this, maybe it won't be. I don't know. But all I know is this, is that it makes us, the guys I associate with and here at Movement and this Movement Military Initiative, and trying to travel and educate and train and do all these different things, because this is what happens when you don't. And we don't want ones to slip through the cracks. And when you get into even the VA renovation, right, it takes all the minimum property requirements off the table. That's the whole point of doing a renovation loan. There's nothing literally outside of structural issues that this VA reno loan can't cure. And so we've taken all of those things off the table. But what it does is require a deeper conversation with the LOs, with the realtor partners, with the trade associations, and all these things, just to make sure that everybody's getting the right information, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. I happen to get drug into a conversation about a freaking termite inspection again for the 9,000th time into this Facebook group or this post, and I wanted to just crawl into a hole. But again, it's one of those situations where we have the responsibility to educate and do more, because of, frankly, crazy conversations just like the one I got drug into, where 80% of the answers on this thread were incorrect. And so I'm going to challenge every one of you to do better, be better, and do more. Get out there, educate, do your thing. But I digress. But anyway, have a great rest of your Monday. Have a great week. We're in June. The year's almost half over. But if there's anything I can do for any of you, shoot me a direct message. I would be happy to do so. But until next time, you guys have a good one. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see y'all soon.